All right, giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings unto the 144,000, as well as the rest of the elect. All right, this is Brother Taza Pie here with another lunch special, and this is going to be a follow-up to last night's Thursday Live, because today, if you don't know, Trump had given a deadline to Russia for August the 8th for them to vacate, all right, Ukraine, for them to forget their efforts after they were the ones, you know, who were in the defensive at first, all right. They were the ones who were, well, not so much attacked, but threatened, all right. They were the ones that was placed under duress, all right, by the threat of NATO being in Ukraine, or Ukraine becoming part of NATO, all right. That puts a heavy stress and strain on Russia, because NATO and Russia are enemies. That was the polar opposites that was set during the Cold War after World War II, all right, to keep the military-industrial complex, to keep that machine well-oiled and greased, all right, to keep it flowing. All right, that was the Cold War, which opened the way for espionage and all kind of other, you know, little goings-ons that we didn't know about. But right, today, August the 8th, it was Russia's deadline, which should have came, you know, really should have went into effect sometime yesterday, because they are pretty much a day ahead of us. Or, well, I believe they are ahead of us, but I don't know exactly how far ahead of us they are. And anyway, all right, I'm here in Matthew chapter 24, verse 3, which says, "And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world?" Which is where we are today. We're in the last days, the end of the world, which is signified by the wicked being in rulership. All right? So the wicked are in rulership. It was prophesied that Esau would be the end of the world. 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and 9. Well, chapter 6, beginning at verse 8. All right. That Esau is the end of the world. So here we are at the end, because the Edomites, the so-called white people, are in rulership. All right. And then they didn't just start ruling. This has been going on since the mid to late 1300s. And so that's letting you know that we're at the end of his rulership. So we're at the end of the end. All right, I just want to make that known. We are at the end of the end. This is the Thursday Night Live, all right, house precept, inside joke. This is Revelation 12 and 12. "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil, Esau," Edom, the so-called white people, all right. There is a chief spiritual demon, Satan, that's over the hierarchy of these powers and principalities on the left-hand side. But that's not who this is talking about. It's Satan, the devil that's come down into you. You read 1 Peter 5 and 8. Matter of fact, let's go to that. As well as the book of Job. But I'm going to show you here. 1 Peter 5. Oh, shit, I passed it up. Verse 8. 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8. All right. "Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. All right, this is talking about the actual demon Satan. All right, it says walketh about, and you can't just what come to mind is just, probably like they show in the movies and all of that, Satan just on the stroll, but no, he's moving at lightning speed through the earth. All right, spirits move quick. They're not bound by this flesh. They can damn near move at the speed of light. All right, because a spirit is energy. All right, and we are as humans, we are energy too, but these bodies, all right, they weigh us down. That's in the I forget where that is, but anyway, right, it says that be sober, be vigilant in the spirit. Okay, don't be out here foolish, simple, easily led astray. Get on your game as a man of the Lord. Fill your mind, body and soul with the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Let it permeate your being. All right? And that's putting on the whole armor that you can withstand the wiles of the devil. Because, yes, he's walking through the earth. As it says, seeking whom he may devour. All right, now just to establish this, we go to the book of Job. We go right to the point. This is Job chapter 1, verse 6. And it said, now there was a day when the sons of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, came to present themselves before Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, and Satan came also among them. And the Lord said unto Satan, this is Satan, the chief demon. All right. And the Most High said unto Satan, whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it, because after Adam's transgression, that gave power over to Satan. All right, we had to be brought into death and the powers of darkness. All right, that was the whole plot of the serpent in the garden, which was in line with the will of the Most High. It ain't like he did something slick. He had to do it, all right, for the sake of us coming to this point where we know both good and evil. So now when the Lord glorifies his elect, they're going to be dragons. They're going to be on the level of owls and dragons. You're not going to be able to pull none of this shit. Just like we seeing through Esau's shit now. Just imagine when we get glorified. All right? But the point what I wanted to bring out here is, because I read it in Revelation, I didn't want you to think, oh, that's just in these times, that the devil coming down having great wrath. Well, I mean, that is these times, but what I want to establish, Salakia, what I want to establish is that Satan been in the earth. All right, that's why I wanted to go back to the book of Job, because, reading it out of Peter, you could say, oh, well, that's just in these days, but no. As you see the same thing written in Job, Satan been, the chief demon Satan, been walking, he been in the earth. And again, going back to the fall of Adam. So then you have to ask, well, who is this in Revelation 12 and 12? That's Esau Edom. I just wanted to establish that. So again, Revelation 12 and 12, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. All right, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And that's the point. He only had a short time, and he then burnt up 700 plus years. Well, almost 700 years. He's coming up to by 7 or approaching 700 years. All right? And so his time is about up. And you look at the events in the world, and that's why I'm in Matthew 24. You look at the events in the world, and they line up with us being at the end of the world. All right? And again, Matthew 24, verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. And that's the exact same thing that Paul wrote to the Thessalonians in 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. It says, be not deceived. No, that's, how does that go? Let no man deceive you. For that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first. All right? But for the sake of time, I don't have time to grab it. But right, it said, let no man deceive you. Well, here the Lord is saying the same thing, because, man, we're in the age of deep fake and AI and all this deception upon deception. I'm scared to watch videos now. You don't know what's real and what ain't. I know when I watch Great Millstone, I know that's real. You know, when I hear the gospel spoken in truth, I know that's real. But a lot of this other stuff, man, I seen a gorilla body slamming alligator the other day. Picked him up 2-3 times and power drive a gorilla power drive an alligator. You know, like on some Mighty Joe Young or King Kong type of shit. It's just all kind of stuff out there, but the deception is real. All right. The deception is out here. So the Lord said, all right, verse 4, and Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Mashiach, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. You see? Wars and rumors of wars must come to pass. Now, Trump, in his hubris and his pomp, he gonna issue a threat that he know his ass can't back up. All right? So I'm just waiting to see how he's gonna renege on this one. And this is what I mean.
President Trump, I have seen your so-called ultimatum. 10 days for Russia to abandon its mission, for a sovereign nation to bow to foreign threats. Let me remind you, we are not your colony. This is not your backyard, this is the Russian Federation. And we do not take orders, especially not from men who can't even control their own Congress. You send submarines toward our waters. You move pawns across the chessboard. But understand this, we play our own game. And when Russia plays, we do not bluff. You speak of peace, yet fan the flames of war. You speak of sanctions, but your own economy teeters on the edge. And now you think you can command Russia like one of your bankrupt casinos. No, Mr. Trump, Russia does not kneel. Not for NATO, not for Brussels, and certainly not for you. You want peace, then stop pouring weapons into Ukraine. You want quiet, then silence your threats, not your diplomacy. Take your deadlines, take your submarines, and take your nose out of matters that do not concern the United States. Because if you continue, then the next 10 days won't bring peace. They'll bring consequences. Stay away, Donald. You are playing a... President Trump.
And so that's Russia's sentiment coming from Putin himself. All right? Because now it's time for things to begin to escalate. Why? Because now the MOTB is right at the door. And I know what Apostle Tahar said was true. When that MOTB is mandatory, it's like the bottom is going to fall out of this thing. Everything is going to move at lightning speed, because even the Most High hastening day. The Most High sick of this goddamn devil. Well, I know the Lord is. But really, it said that the Lord, he is angry with the wicked every day. All right? So don't think this devil is doing stuff and it's just, just going for naught. He gonna have to answer for all of this stuff. But right, the third woe is ramping up. Ukraine is not dying down. Russia is standing their ground, and they just took the gloves off. And as Putin said, well, we don't bluff. When he says, keep your nose out of this, it's going to be some shit. Unless Trump swallowed his pride, tuck his tail between his legs, and back off. And you think that's about to happen? And on top of that, all right, you got Israel looking to completely take over Gaza now. All right, so Israel is getting ready to make a move on Gaza. So these two situations is creating the tensions that is going to lead to this third woe. All right, and that's a third, that means the third world conflict. So we're here at Revelation chapter 11, verse 14, which says the second woe is past. Right, it passed in roughly 1945. Third woe, the second woe, the second world conflict is what it's talking about, is past 1939 to 1945. It says, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. All right, because the second woe came faster than this third woe, because the first woe, the world conflict, was from 1914 to 1917. That's that 5 months that was prophesied. Let's see, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20 to 1918. All right. And so from 1918 to 1939, that's 20 years. So that woe came quick. You had, 18, 29, 39, 20 years. And another woe. So this one has been almost 80 years, over 80 years, 45 to 25 is, 80 years. Am I doing that right? Yeah, that's 80 years. So what does it mean it come quickly? Because the second one came first, came quicker than this one is coming. No, just like I just said, when certain prophecies come to pass, that's why the scripture said, when they shall say peace, and let's get that, and we'll go out. When they shall say peace and safety, what? So here at 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3, it says, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. And that's what it means, the third woe cometh quickly. Okay? You're going to be sitting there enjoying the comfort of your 15-minute city, and bam. All right, they're going to tell you, oh, it's all good. You got to, come on, get this mark, it's all good. And then by the time you get it, and you think you about to fill your belly with a little comfort of Babylon, bam, on your ass. All right? But the third woe is going to come quick, especially for those who are not paying attention. So, that's the meal for the day. I pray that you was edified, satisfied, and fulfilled in the spirit. To the next one. All right, y'all stay up. Much love. Shalom.